Hey, Patreon supporters. Man, I really need a haircut. Anyway, Patreon supporters, thank you again for being Patreon supporters. Man, I still have Patreon supporters a lot of time. We're going to do a commentary, guys. I'm sorry I hadn't had much exclusive. I've been doing a video almost every day, so it's been harder to do kind of Patreon stuff. But looks like some things are going to change coming up soon, and hopefully going to mail out a Patreon box for Patreon supporters, a fan box, and some other things coming up in August. That's my hope anyway. Scratch my eye. Okay, we're gonna do commentary on who was the man behind the public Darth Vader. This is a video I did. Hopefully you've seen that video already. It's the guy that made public appearances, and he said he was a stuntman for Lucasfilm for Star Wars films, but he wasn't. So let's go. Let me turn the volume down a little bit here. And there he is, Darth Vader news clip. I was lucky to find this news clip, and it was the actual guy I was doing the video on. The original cut of this video didn't have this part on it. It started normally with the Junkman logo, and then there's a psycho music. I wanted something scary there so you know something sinister is coming up, but really not sinister, I guess. But anyway, the original cut was going to have the Junkman logo, then go into a little teaser, and then the opening intro like I normally do. But that for Darth Vader scene just seems it would really pull you in more than the opening intro. And I don't know if you noticed some of the videos lately, I've started jumping into the video more instead of doing the opening logo, the teaser, the main logo, then welcome to the junk room, Patreon, all that. Trying to, on some videos, especially depending on the topic of the video, just jump right into it. Do the opening Junkman Presents logo and then go right into the video. Now this video came about really different because a lot of these videos I do is kind of like these old stories that grow up. Is a lot of them from news articles and stuff like that. But this one here is probably an exclusive. I hadn't seen anyone talking about this, and it's put together by a lot of different pieces, old news reports and an old website, and I linked everything together and made this and put it all together. So it's a little different than some of the other videos that I've done where the story's already been kind of out there on a website and stuff. So I think this one's kind of an exclusive here to talk about this. I don't think anyone else is talking about it. I didn't see anything on this at all. In fact, all the sites I went to, even updated fan sites, kept still saying this guy was a stuntman for Lucasfilm, that he worked for Lucasfilm. I think I'm the first one to go into the movie database and look at this guy and try to find out who he was, and couldn't find out any link to it all with the films. And then I found that article, which one of the Lucasfilms representatives also confirmed, or at least the other guy, the Kelly guy, who might have been the same guy, wasn't linked. And interesting about this is the whole video itself wasn't going to be this topic. I've read some articles about this guy, some people in the whole before, some articles about this guy before, and the whole point of the video was going to be the people behind the mask that made public appearances. And I was going to try to look into, there's some others that played Darth Vader, Chewbacca. I remember seeing Chewbacca at the mall when I was little, and do a video like that, the other people behind the mask, or the forgotten other actors of Star Wars, you want to call them actors. And found this guy, did a lot of research on him, and that's when I started finding out about him saying he was a stuntman on the Burt Reynolds film, that he was a stuntman on Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. And when he said he was a stuntman, I thought with Bob Anderson, I think his name was a stuntman. I haven't heard this guy, but you know, they could have had more than one stuntman for sure. But that's when I started looking into it more, because I wanted more information about him, because it wasn't enough to do a video on just this guy. All I could say was his name, and he played Darth Vader, so I wanted more of his background to do a whole video on him. But that's when it started, you know, changing around, where I found out, okay, he wasn't a stuntman like he said. So I've got to address that. I'm going to talk about him. And then I found out about the lawsuit from Lucasfilms, and I found out about how he disappeared, didn't show up at court. They couldn't find a way to summons him. And then all of a sudden, about the same time he disappears, here's another guy that just appears doing the same thing, wearing a suit much like him, and also said he was a stuntman on Star Wars with a different name. So I mean, I could never confirm 100% if that the Kelly guy and the Tom guy was the same guy in the Darth Vader suit, but come on. The other guy starts appearing right about the other time the guy goes missing, and wearing the same suit with the same backstory. So I think he, I wondered why did he even make up the whole I was a Darth Vader stuntman and everything. Seemed was really no reason, but I think it was something to get more people to pay more to see him. You know, he did these contracts with these local stores, and I found one contract put up here where he's charging about $2,400, I think it was, to appear. And I think when you say, hey, I'm just a guy in a suit here, I want to appear dressed up like Darth Vader and take pictures, dealerships and local places going to say, okay, well, here's $500 to do that or whatever. But if you say, hey, I'm a stuntman doing this on the side, I work for Star Wars, I am Darth Vader. I might not be the main Darth Vader, but I did play Darth Vader in the movie as a stuntman. I think then it gives you more of a bargaining chip when you're making them deals with the local places to make more money. I was amazed that all the articles I found said that his outfit was authentic, but man, look at it. It's really bad when you... Some of the pictures, it looks okay. I mean, for that time period, but that chest plate is horrible. And the mask was like just normal Don Post mask that was out of that time that you could just buy at any store. So I'm surprised. I mean, if I saw that Darth Vader, I wouldn't be impressed. But as a kid, you know, you didn't see Star Wars as much. You know, Vader, you saw the movie, but you saw some pictures. But we didn't have Darth Vader imprinted on our mind like we do now. Now if somebody shows up with a half-assed costume with Darth Vader, anybody's going to spot it out. Interesting thing here, I didn't even hit me to a little video. I saw some comments on it. Is that a lot of people talked about how the photos got imposed with a gun. And Darth Vader, you know, Darth Vader don't have a gun. And Lucasfilm, at least George Lucas probably would never did photos of him with a gun. So, and why the guy just didn't go down to the toy store and buy a plastic lightsaber when he was doing these, I don't know. Seems it'd be easier to carry a lightsaber around and go with Darth Vader more than the pistol, but maybe the pistol was cheaper, who knows. But this was a really interesting video. I really like the way it did turn out here. Like I said, I don't think many people were talking about it, so that's good. I always try to find something. There's a lot of topics I want to do, and then I start looking into them, and I go to YouTube and I type it out, and there's 5 or 6 other videos about it. A lot of it, or maybe just a few videos about it, but they're all more popular than me, so I don't really like to cover a lot of stuff that's been covered a lot. That's why I've said it before. People's asked me if I'm going to do a video on like the early bird collection. But I was like, everybody's talked to death about the early bird collection. If I can't find a new spin on it, I'm not going to talk about the early bird collection. So don't worry about that. See what else I can say about this video. Again, it wasn't really planned out. The whole plan of this video wasn't what I was going for, but I like this story better than just doing a man behind the mask type video. All the ones that appeared at public places. Very interesting video, kind of like the Death Star one. I should do a commentary for you guys. I think I'll do that later this week. Another Patreon commentary about the Death Star prop that was found. That was a really good video there. So give you a little bit more information about that. Here's a news clip here again of Darth Vader. It's really hard to understand it, and it's funny, he's got that mask on, but you really couldn't understand him. I think he says like a comic book villain. I think that's what he said in that clip right there. Can't remember. If you notice, my thumbnail in this video did change. Yeah, I got Brad. Not Brad, but actually not the real Brad, but I had a picture of a kid standing next to a Darth Vader in costume. Loved the picture. Went right. It came from a website called Growing Up Star Wars. But this time I emailed them and said, hey, I use this as a thumbnail. I'll give you credit. Let me borrow it and all that. And they said, no, don't put it in the thumbnail. They don't know. I don't know if the picture came from people that run the website or not, but they didn't give me permission to use it. And instead of worrying about it, I just took it off and put that generic picture of someone dressed up like Darth Vader, who I think is this guy I'm talking about in the video, but I couldn't get 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure it was, being that it was linked to him in a lot of places, a lot of different places where they did talk about him. But Growing Up Star Wars, I mean, nothing against, I'm not saying that's bad or nothing. I mean, if you don't want his pictures on a thumbnail, that's okay, I understand. So I took it down, but you may have noticed if you see the link on Twitter, because I can't edit Twitter, it's still there with the old thumbnail. So just something a little interesting again. Man, I didn't realize this video was this long. But I'm running out of stuff to talk to you guys about here. Let's see if there's anything else I can add about the making of this video. Wasn't really much. I mean, here's the funny thing too. A lot of people to ask me, how do you come up with this? And I mean, I talk to people who think, you know, like I've been working on this video for a week. Honestly, it was like Thursday night. I couldn't find anything to do. I had in my mind for about 2 weeks to do a story on the public appearance stuff. And Thursday night, I started researching, looking at it, and finding out more about this guy, finding out that he went missing and that he was sued by Lucasfilm. Wrote it up late Thursday night and recorded it Friday and put it up. So it's not like I spent hours on this stuff, although it might seem like it. Hopefully it seems like it. That means I did a good job instead of just half-assing it and doing it as fast as I can. Anyway, that's commentary. Thank you guys again for the Patreon support. It really means a lot to me, and I apologize I hadn't done a lot on Patreon. But hopefully in August and going forward, we're going to move, do a lot more from Patreon. I'm about 60 subs away from 10,000 subs. So I've got something special for you, for everybody actually. Got a whole new YouTube channel I'm working on. I'm already uploading videos to it, but I got it set on private. Y'all the first one to hear that, Patreon supporters. And hopefully, when it gets a little closer to 10,000, I'm going to open it up just for Patreon subscribers to check out, see if y'all like it. And I'll give you more details about what kind of YouTube channel that is. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to do. Anyway, again, thanks for your support and be back very soon.